Have you ever made a skincare product and thought, it's okay, but it's not quite right? There's a reason for that, and it's not because you're bad at this. It's because the way you were taught to make skincare was never designed to teach you how to think like a formulator. Making skincare and formulating skincare are two completely different things. Making skincare by following recipes is actually holding you back. Recipes are standing in the way of you thinking like a formulator. They are one of the reasons your products don't feel professional yet. Let me explain how. Firstly, recipes don't explain why. If you've been learning skincare by using recipes, you've been following instructions and mixing ingredients together. Sometimes the product has turned out okay, and other times it's been a disaster. You've been making products by following a recipe created by someone else. You're a skincare maker. But these recipes were never designed to teach you how to formulate. Recipes show you what to add. They don't teach you why you're adding it. So when something feels wrong, or you want to adapt or improve something, you don't know what to change. If a product feels heavier or more greasy than you expected, you don't know why. If it drags across the skin or the texture is a bit grainy, you don't know what you did wrong. If there is something about it that isn't quite right, you don't know what to change. Is it the emulsifier? Is it the oil percentage? Is it the thickener? Is it the cooling phase? You don't know because the recipe never explained the role each ingredient was playing in the system. So instead of knowing exactly what to adjust, you guess. And sometimes that guess works. Sometimes it makes it worse. It's not that you don't have the skill, you just don't have the framework yet. Another reason your products don't feel professional is that recipes aren't designed for consistency or scale. Each time you make a recipe, it turns out a bit differently. And when it comes to scaling, that's where the problems really start. You make 100 grams and it's okay. You try to make 500 grams and suddenly the texture changes. It thickens differently. It feels heavier. It behaves differently. Why? Because recipes are written for one batch, to create one product, or maybe enough for 2 or 3 products. They're usually written in mixed measurements. A spoon here, a gram there, a few drops of something else. This is not an accurate way to measure ingredients. There's also no percentage logic holding the recipe together. Rather than a structured system, it's a list of random measurements. So when you try to scale up the recipe and make a bigger batch, the balance shifts and it doesn't turn out the same. You can end up wasting lots of lovely ingredients, and it's so frustrating because it seems like you did everything the same. When this happens, it's not your fault. It's simply that recipes are not accurate enough to scale up and to reliably make bigger batches. Another common issue with recipes is that recipes focus on individual ingredients, not structure. They'll say, add this amazing oil, use this botanical extract, but they rarely explain the structure of the formula. They don't explain the ratio of oil and water, what percentage of emulsifier is needed, how the thickener contributes to texture, how everything fits together to create the final result. So the product might work, but you don't understand why it works. And if you change one ingredient, you're not sure what that will affect because you don't see the structure holding it together. Professional formulation isn't just about choosing good ingredients. It's about building a formula where you understand exactly why each ingredient is there and where every ingredient has a clear role within that structure. When you understand the structure, you can adjust confidently. And when you don't, you're just guessing. If you'd like an insight into the simple structure cosmetic chemists use to build safe, stable formulations, you'll love the skincare formula framework I've created. It's for people who want to stop following DIY recipes and start formulating skincare the professional way. I've linked to it below so you can sign up for a copy. A fourth reason that recipes are holding you back is that recipes don't show safe usage ranges. This is something most recipe followers don't realise. Some ingredients are only safe to use in a certain amount. There is a usage range you must stick within. For example, a preservative might only be safe up to 1%. When you are following a recipe in measurements like cups, spoons, and ounces, you can't confidently see whether an ingredient is being used within that range. The product might look fine, but that doesn't automatically mean it's stable or safe. And that uncertainty creates anxiety, especially if you're thinking about selling your products one day. Probably the biggest reason that your products don't feel professional yet, and that recipes are actually stopping you thinking like a formulator, is that recipes don't start with a product goal. A recipe is a list of ingredients and instructions to follow. Hopefully the product will turn out all right, although this depends on who created the recipe and whether they actually know what they are doing. On the other hand, professional formulation doesn't start with a list of ingredients, it starts with a clear goal. Who is the product for? What skin type do they have? Is it dry skin, oily skin, sensitive skin? What should the product feel like on the skin? Light, rich, fast absorbing, protective? Recipes don't start with a goal, they start with a list of ingredients. So instead of designing the results, you're just hoping it turns out the way you imagined. And when it doesn't, that's when it feels disappointing. So if your products don't feel professional yet, it's not because you're bad at this. It's not because you just need more practice. It's because recipes were never designed to teach formulation thinking. They were designed to be followed, and following doesn't teach you how to formulate. Once you understand structure, once you understand percentages, once you understand ingredients' roles, once you start thinking about your product goal and create a formula that fits that goal, you stop guessing and your products start feeling intentional. That's the shift. So now that you can see why recipes are keeping you stuck, the next step is learning to actually think like a formulator. How to build with structure, how to choose ingredients for a reason, how to design the product before you ever make it. That's what we're going to start breaking down next.